Hey, what's going on, guys? We're going to look at the NQ. We're going to look at, how I traded the NQ today, kind of how I was analyzing the markets. So I've been sizing up a little bit on the NQ, been taking some scalps, kind of just getting in, getting green, getting out, right? That doesn't mean that I'm taking profits too quickly because I'm sized up. So I'm still looking for the same moves, regardless if you're sized up playing mini contracts or you're sized down protecting yourself, which I truly recommend is probably the smarter thing to do in trading those micros. Now, why am I trading bigger size? Well, I've built up a nice cushion in the Top Step account. I'm up around $3,800 now, almost $4,000 this month on that Top Step account. So I've got a little bit of room to play with, right? So the more padding that you get, the more room that you get, the bigger size you can take. Let's say worst possible case scenario, I oversize, I play these NQ mini contracts. I'm wrong. I take a max drawdown of $1,000 that I am allowed to draw down on this account, and I'm auto liquidated for the day. Great. So I'm still up $3,000. It's a little different if you're, kind of spinning your wheels in the dirt, you're already down, $1,300 in your combine, or you're down $1,300 in your funded account, and you take a $1,000 loss. Now we have no cushion. There's no room to play with. You're going to automatically, start to get in losing those accounts. But anyways, so what I was looking at in the pre-market, now there's just a few indicators on my screen. I'll just kind of briefly cover them. The black lines that you see are the linear regression channel 50. Again, if you can't put these on your screen, it's okay. I use the Thinkorswim platform to do my charting because I do all of my options trading through Thinkorswim. So I'm accustomed to it, right? We've tried different variations of this on NinjaTrader, on TradingView. Nothing really seems to kind of match up, right? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. I mean, I have nothing else to say. It's not like I can magically pull this indicator, out of my hat here and, try to put it on your screen. However, okay, take that aside. Notice the overnight session lows on the NQ. Notice how we kind of test that area once, we traded over that area. Let me give you the exact price here. So notice how 5:45 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, we put in a low here of 16,806. Notice how we tested again here. We put in a low of 16,805, and then we start to push up, push up, push up. I've got a 20 period moving average. I've got a 200 period moving average, 20 SMA, 200 SMA. That's all I'm looking at. In order for me to want to get long, what is going to need to have happen off the open? I'm going to need to take out a previous swing high or start taking out some levels of supply. So I'm going to need to start taking out supply, 20 SMA, start taking out supply, 200 SMA, or take out a previous structure high. Okay. Now, once I do this, now I can put in a new high, I can consolidate, back test. And when I take out the new high, I want to be long. Great. It's textbook, right? I look for the same things each and every single day. If that doesn't happen, great. I'm going to look for a trade on the other side. So what would I be looking for? I'm looking for a short position just due to the fact that we're underneath the 200. We're underneath the 20. We've got those overnight session lows there. If you kind of just drag those lows across, if you were to draw a little bit of a demand zone here, notice how if we were to lose this area, we really don't have any support on your screen. You can essentially try to get into a little bit of a scalp, and how I call it, getting in, getting green, getting out. Right? Let's not make it more difficult than what it is. Well, there's a million questions that go through a trader's head. What's your stop loss? What's your take profit? How do you know when to get in? We know when to get in because are we over under supply? Great. On the 5-minute time frame, we're under supply. What's the supply zone, D? The 200 period moving average, the 20 period moving average. Those are my supply zones. What's the reason for taking the trade? We're breaking down below overnight session lows. That's the reason for the trade. What's your stop loss, D? A previous 5-minute candle close, or the candle that I'm getting in on top wicks close, or top wick. It's not that hard. How do you know how many contracts to trade, D? You have to trade contracts that are going to be in line with the amount of risk that you're willing to lose. Now, let's say, for example, I get into this trade when I did. Whoops, why did my drawing tool go so small? I get into the trade when I did. The trade doesn't work and it starts to go against me. I've got a couple of options here. You know, if I get into the, whoops, that's too big now. If I get into the futures play, right? If I get into the futures play on the breakdown, on the first initial move, I've got a couple of things to do if it starts to go against me. I can use the 20 SMA as a stop. If we break over the 20 SMA, get out. I can use the current 5-minute candle's high wick as a stop, or I can use the previous 5-minute candle close as a stop. Again, make sure you understand where your stop loss is at. Make sure you understand where your max pain's at, and then size yourself accordingly, depending on the number of contracts you want to play. Get in, get green, get out, right? Being that I did trade 2 mini contracts, I'm not looking for much, guys. I'm looking for 4, 5, 6, 7 points. If I can get that, again, because the nature of the beast with the NQ, this thing can go down 10, it could snap back 8, it can go down 15, trickle around, go back the other way 7. You know, it moves very violently and it moves very quickly. So my thought process is always, when I'm trading minis, I'm going to wait for my setups. My setups don't change. I never change where I want to get into my trades. I don't change my trading style just dependent on, you know, because I'm playing minis. The only thing that changes is where I'm going to get out. I do not give these any wiggle room. If it starts to go down and then it kind of snaps back up again, I'll give it a few seconds. I'll give it a minute. If I could clearly see it's not going in my favor quickly, I'll just cut the trade. That's why today 50% of the trades that I took were scratch trades. I get into these trades and they don't work as fast as I want them to work. I'm just going to cut them at break even. They need to work for me. Now let's talk about everyone else, which, you know, I would definitely recommend doing, and it's how I build my accounts up. Again, I don't just start off a new evaluation trading minis. I don't just start off a new funded account trading minis. I build up slowly with 2, 3, 4 micro contracts at a time. I start banking in a few winning days. I start trying to build up that cushion, and I slowly start to increase my size. Now, if we're trading micro contracts, we've got more room to wiggle. I'm definitely going to use a previous swing high as a stop, or a close over the 20 SMA as a stop, or the current top wick as our stop. We're only going to use a 1-bar stop system, guys. So if you're going to use that, you can take the first entry, which is this candle break here. If you're looking for more confirmation, when we break through, right? When we break through, you then want to enter on the confirmation of the new low, and then you would take this move down here. So that's a potential setup that you should have made money on. Again, you know, looking at the range and the severity of this candle, this is an 84-point range candle. Now, am I going to sit here and assume that I'm going to get 84 points? No. Could it happen? Absolutely. But I'll take the 84 points. I'll kind of chop that in half. If I can take 30 points, 40 points off this potential play, then I'm going to go ahead and take those profits. Now, if you tell yourself that, well, if I wait for that candle to close, I don't want to give myself an 84-point stop loss. Correct. I'm not saying that you have to take the trade either. It's your decision to take the trade. If you do want to use the current candle high as a stop, you know, maybe 40, 50 points, 60 points, you know, from point of entry to the stop loss is a lot of points. I get it. But one micro contract at, let's say, a 50-point stop loss is $100 loss, 2 is, you know, so forth and so forth, right? So just do the math accordingly. Now, again, if that's too much risk, then again, no one's forcing you guys to take the trade. You don't have to take the trade. Well, I'm going to miss out on it. You know, there's so many moaners and whiners and gropers out there who, you know, like, no situation is perfect, guys. You know, not every setup has an 84-point candle range. You're not going to be giving up 50 points every single trade. So just hang back and wait for the next potential trade. The next potential trade that sets up here is a long position. It's a 49-point range. Again, are you looking for the full 49? You know, maybe if you're, you know, trading 1 or 2 micros and you want to try to squeeze out as the maximum amount of profits that you can, sure. But, you know, if you can take off 25, 35 points on the NQ, I think that those are sufficient levels to kind of just wrap up those trades and take those profits. Now, if you notice here, you would be getting in on the next candle here at 7:40 a.m. in Pacific Standard Time. It does pull back, right? So you are going to be in a little bit of heat here. You're actually in a little bit of drawdown for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. before you actually start to get profitable. So it's like immediately when you enter the trade, it goes up in your favor, you start to get happy, and then it pulls back and you start to get upset and pissed off. But again, as long as you're not trading with size or going to be comfortable with a full potential stop loss on your potential trade entry, you're going to be fine. Losses come, right? You know, your best traders out there are only hitting in the mid 50% win rate. You know, it's not like you have traders out there who are winning 100% of their trades. Now, whether you have a 70% win rate on the day based on a collection of 5 trades or 10 trades is completely different. And I think that a lot of new traders get that confused. They think that, well, my strategy hits at 55%. How can someone, you know, win 90% of their trading days over the course of 1 week? Well, because maybe they only took 1 trade or they took 10 trades. They're finishing when they're profitable on the day. So that's how you're able to get that 1 winning day, 2 winning days, 3 winning days. I've gone on a series of, you know, 3 days where I've won 90 or 100% of those days, or of those trades. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to do that every day. The next day I might come in and I might win 30% of my trades, or I might, you know, win 1 trade, lose 1 trade, and then have to stop out completely, you know, for the day because I don't want to risk any more money. Again, that was your second potential trade setup. And I'm not going to do this all, you know, through every single setup, guys, because I don't think it's necessary. But I've got, you know, almost 3.5, 4 hours worth of data here on the 5-minute time frame. Here was another setup. Here was a 30-point range. Do you get 30 points? The low is 89 and the low on this is 72, or excuse me. Yeah, the low is 89, 789, and the low on this candle is 772. So do you get the full 30 points here? No, not really. You get kind of close. Maybe you would have gotten stopped out, but again, that's the name of the game. There's no setup that's perfect. This setup here, if you notice, the high price confirms at 16,816 and the range is 15 points. It only goes up to 825, so it only goes up around 10 points. You would have gotten stopped out here as well. Well, now we've lost a couple of trades here. What are we going to do? We're going to manage our P&L. We're going to tell ourselves, you know, I made a lot of money off the open, or I made no money off the open. Do I want to continue to trade still? If the answer is yes, then you have to continue to keep taking the next trades. And the next trade setup was here for a 23.5 point range, which did hit for a winner. So either you broke even here on the trade, you finished up green, depending on if you took this long setup. Again, it's when you start to cherry pick trades, when you don't take this trade because it's too early off the open, and then you don't take this one because you're still waiting for continuation to the downside, and then you decide to take this trade here, you know, to start your morning, and then you lose, and then you decide to take the next one right after it, and then you lose, and then now you're so scared where you don't take the third one that could have actually broke you even on both of those losing trades. So again, you trade your setup every time it gets presented to you until you're ready to stop trading. And there's only 2 reasons why you stop trading on the day. Reason number 1, you're happy and you're content with the gains that you made, so you stop. Reason number 2, in your trading plan, you need to have, if I lose $250 today, I have to stop trading. If I lose $500 today, I have to stop trading. So if you hit those in the 2 trades or the 1 trade or the 3 trades that you've taken, you have to stop trading on the day. Now you are no longer to trade anymore on the day. And if you're in the A column and you're stopping trading on the day because you're up $250 or you're up $500, and then you go do something else for 2 or 3 hours and you come back to the charts, guess what, my friends? You are still not permitted to trade. Well, D, what if I'm profitable? I just wanted to take a little bit of a break. The moment you decide to stop trading on the day is the moment you come back tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you guys would like to join Evolution Traders, I have 1 space available left to join the mentorship and the community. I go over the other dozen strategies and entry points that I use, risk management, trade plan building, and you get access to those one-on-one coaching calls via Zoom or Discord or through the telephone. And if you are interested, that link is down below. I will see all of you guys on the next video.